Xbox and Microsoft have just closed 4 studios. And these are studios they just acquired a few years ago. It doesn't look good for Xbox and their promise to be all in gaming with the backing of big money from Microsoft. Let's talk about how Xbox plans to move forward in such turmoil. This is Colteastwood. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I am making an impromptu video about what's going on with Activision, Blizzard, Bethesda, and the regular Xbox game studios, and what it means for the future. If you end up enjoying this video, let me know by liking and subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell to be notified of new content, and let's talk about where Xbox is going and if they'll still be around. Today on May 7th, 2024, Microsoft and Xbox announced that they are closing 4 of their studios. Right now, they are closing the Arkane Austin studio, the team behind Prey and Redfall and Dishonored. They're also closing Tango Gameworks, their one and only true Japanese studio, and even the fan-loved Evil Within series. They're also closing Alpha Dog Games, which worked on the Mighty Doom mobile game. And they have folded them into the team at Elder Scrolls Online. We're going to dive into everything going on with Xbox, the state of the games currently, where they are, and games that will be shuttered. Xbox has spent over $70 billion acquiring studios to have what Phil Spencer calls a first-class world suite of studios to make games for the Xbox platform, and even for their platform, which is Game Pass. Right now, those are already causing major problems as the industry is in major turmoil, with profit margins razor thin to where AAA gaming is become completely unsustainable. But let's start at the beginning. Let's talk about Arkane Austin, the team that recently released just 1 year ago Redfall, which is probably one of the biggest black eyes for Xbox for their releases. This is a game that is AAA in nature, comes from a pedigree studio that brought us the Dishonored series and the well-loved Prey. Before we get into the problems with Redfall, you have to remember that Dishonored, as well-loved and well-reviewed as it is not a high-selling game. And Prey is well-loved among fans, especially me. That game did not make great big sales. These things equate to where you need to cut costs, but it perplexes fans and those in the media and watching what's going on with the games industry, where gaming is so far above even entertainment with movies, streaming, TV shows, and the like, even music, where gaming is far above all of those in revenue and profit, but yet it's still not enough. We have seen several publishers and studios fold and close and lay off employees, with Xbox themselves even laying off over 13,000 employees among the Activision Blizzard team and Bethesda teams that they were supposed to save with their big checkbook as they brought them into the fold. Now, fans like me and other people have celebrated and applauded Xbox for building up a big suite of studios that they can bring to their fans. And those acquisitions were supposed to be major game changers, bringing games to everybody that's on almost every device. Even hints that Xbox will bring a ton of these games to their competing platform on Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation console. Even that is not enough. There have been more studios that have been shuttered, and Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming said there will be even more studio closures in the next 12 to 18 months. So let's talk about Redfall. Redfall came out in May of 2023 and is one of the lowest rated games and one of the least reviewed games on the Xbox platform, and probably the lowest point for Bethesda and their studios in their entire career. Bethesda normally puts out great high rated games, but Redfall was one of those games that just wasn't ready, undercooked, under-delivered, and promised so much more, and will still never see the light of day. It was recently reported that Redfall's DLC was being worked on up to this very moment, as these studios are among the last to know when they're being shuttered, closed down, and laid off. Arkane Austin released a press statement about their closure and answered a lot of questions that fans have about their future, saying, "Today it was announced that Arkane Austin will close in development, will not continue on Redfall. To everyone that has supported the work from our Austin studio over the years, thank you. Thank you for spending time in our worlds and making them your own. Arkane Lyon will continue to focus on immersive experiences where they are hard at work on their upcoming project. Redfall players who purchased the Hero Pass as a part of the Premium Bite Back Edition or the Premium Bite Back Upgrade will be eligible to receive the value of the upgrade. While there will be no further updates, Redfall servers will remain online for players to enjoy. So if you look at the metrics and the numbers and the return on investment for Redfall, you can see why something would have to change. Of course, it would be much better if Arkane Austin's team was folded into other projects or made to work on Fallout 76 or other teams, or just consolidate these people. We don't know where the developers are going, but this is a really sad state to see your studio, your home and place of work be closed down forever. The next tragedy for Bethesda was to lose Tango Gameworks. Now, this is a studio that has always delivered, with Evil Within 1 and 2, which are well-loved games, and the recent Hi-Fi Rush, a rhythm-based game that won over fans. Well, the truth is, Hi-Fi Rush shadow dropped on Game Pass, PC, and Xbox console, but in the grand scheme of keeping a studio with the lights on for Tango Gameworks in Japan, this is not good enough. And they decided to axe one of their most talented studios and well-loved studios among this list that was lost today for Bethesda. Bethesda was supposed to be saved by Xbox's acquisition. So Xbox buying Bethesda was supposed to save them with Arkane Lyon, the team working on Marvel's Blade. That team is still intact and will remain working, but that was one of the studios that celebrated that the acquisition to Xbox had actually saved Arkane Lyon. Dinga Bakaba, the head of Arkane Lyon, spoke out publicly about his distaste and distrust for big conglomerates and executives running the scene. Here's what he had to say. He has over 15,000 likes in just a few hours. And he said, "This is absolutely terrible. Permission to be human." To any executive reading this, that video games are an entertainment cultural industry, and your business as a corporation is to take care of your artists, entertainers, and help them create value for you. Don't throw us into gold fever gambits. Don't use us as straw man for miscalculations, blind spots. Don't make our work environments Darwinist jungles. You say we make you proud when we make a great game. Make us proud when times are tough. We know you can. We've seen it before. I could read more of his thread. Check it out. I'll have it linked in the description. But what he's saying is so true. When Satya Nadella said, "We're all in gaming and let us compete," he really meant that they were going to put all of their funding and all of their support into the venture of gaming, which is now above and beyond what it's doing for Windows for revenue. I would blame a major chunk of all of this turmoil and all of these layoffs and these reductions and closures, attribute that directly to the Activision and Blizzard merger. A $70 billion merger which brought in big expectations for return on investment, big changes in how Xbox has their exclusivity agreement amongst their console, and Game Pass have completely changed the game. And last year, I told Xbox and Microsoft directly to get rid of the ABK deal, stop the fight with the FTC, let this one go and move on and use some of that money to bolster up their studios and create more games. But Microsoft has outlined that they want to create more high-profile and hard-hitting blockbuster games. This is something Xbox has struggled with for the past 11 to 12 years. They haven't had a ton of big blockbuster games, and the ones they did have always came with a major caveat that they were either undercooked, under-delivered, and over-promised. Gaming is massive for Xbox. Cuts have to be made, but it's inexcusable to not use your financial leverage to keep this industry moving forward and keeping these people continue to make great games. When you close studios and consolidate them, you'll have less games, which will be less revenue. It's more nuanced than that, but looking in as fans from the outside, we can see, why would you close these studios? Why aren't you moving and making a communication that these studios and this dev talent is going to other places and being used to create more and better games for the fans? This is Colteastwood. Thank you so much for checking out this video. What terrible news to wake up to if you're working at a studio or you're helping work in the Xbox and gaming division. This is terrible. This is such a major L for the team. And as an Xbox content creator, I've been frustrated. We've been waiting for a long time, and Xbox was supposed to have these games out a long time ago. When I look back to 2020 and 2021, when Xbox laid it all out on the line. But if you've got this much power behind you, you need to use your money and your resources to make it happen. And I feel like Xbox has not delivered. If you end up enjoying this video, let me know by liking and subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell to be notified of new weekly content. If you want to further support the work we're doing here on the Colteastwood channel, you can do that by hitting the join button below. You can also join the Patreon. There you get early access for videos, monthly merch giveaways. We're giving away the Xbox themed coins for the games that are coming up. Those are really, really cool from Xbox fan art. And check out the XNC podcast where Mag and I have been talking about this news. We'll have a lot to break down. Mag has been a great expert in the entertainment industry. He has connections with people in TV and movies and talks to people in gaming. When he gets a lot of the business side figured out, the guy also runs his own business. So it's a great insight to discuss what's currently going on right now with Xbox and the games industry. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And people are going to be crazy. The PlayStation guys are going to be gloating, and the Xbox guys are going to be defending. And then there's going to be the frustrated people on both sides. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a landmine. But as I always say, be nice.